Alright, I believe we are ready to rock and roll. A bit of a slow start today, but looks like everything is up and running fine. It's always a nervous endeavor when I come back to doing this. What's going on, everybody? My name is the Black Link, and we are back once again to talk a little bit of Destiny 2 here. On PC, of course. It has been quite a week for Destiny, hasn't it? We've seen at least 3 different scandals, 2 of which involving Bungie apparently copying some homework. I hope you guys have been well. I hope you've had a great week. You're almost to the weekend. You're one day away, baby. You can make it through Thursday and coast through Friday. And I'm here to make your Thursday a little bit easier. Gray Fox, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I hope you have been well. Over on the Rumble side of things, Mr. Dad Marcus, always first in the fight. Good to see you, man. How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing well. I've had a pretty good week. Told you guys I had a couple days off this week. It'll be today and tomorrow in particular. I had yesterday off too, but it's like, man, I talked a lot last week about how when you're an adult and you like plan some vacation time, usually what your vacation time is planned for is completing all of the chores that you're too busy to get done. Now, I did a lot of those chores last week. So, of course, what do you think happened the moment I got some free time this week? New chores popped up, of course. Oh, redirection recon. That's actually not a bad handy. Not a bad handy. We'll take it. But of course, absolutely of course, a bunch of new chores manifested themselves out of the ether. And it also, I got a little bit of a bonus flair to it. All my ethnic boys out there will understand. Think about it. What happens to you the moment you get a moment to yourself? Like, you're looking around like, oh, wait a second. Like, I don't gotta go to work today. I don't gotta do nothing. Yo, Marcus already got it. The honeydews. Yep. Uh-huh. But this is the special ethnic version of it. At the moment you get a second to yourself and you think, oh man, I'm about to have a full day where I can do whatever it is I want, no questions asked. I don't owe nobody nothing. I ain't gotta do nothing. Ring, ring. That phone starts going off, and who is it? Yo mama calling you to give you a bunch of stuff to do. Because she can smell it. She can smell when you've got a moment of free time to yourself. And man, black moms. Black moms are infamous for this. She can sense the moment you're either about to do something she disapproves of, or the moment you're about to just freely enjoy yourself. Like, call you up, hey, I got a list of things for you to do. Like, how did you even know? How did you even know that I was free today? This is why you don't make plans. And I didn't. To my credit, I didn't make any plans for anything. Because I knew it was coming. Let's see what they got this week.
I see you. You see me too? Good. Then it is all working. You, me, this projector. Even if we sometimes falter. There is a war building in Sloane's eyes. One that Xivu Arath will exploit, as she did with Osiris. Savathun wore his face, but it was Xivu Arath who took his light. Her whips
That's technically true.
Into a frenzy, lured him into danger, forced Sagira's sacrifice, and left him to die.
Yeah, that's true.
She twists my thoughts into thorns, draws out the faces of the suffering Elixni into my dreams.
You should be celebrating that. They deserved it.
I took pleasure in their pain.
You did. Own it.
I see their eyes as they died by my hands. And they see me. She does not lie.
That's right.
Challenges what you hold as a strength. Osiris' ambition, my protection. Sloane's duty. I have felt how the right word, the right face can incite one to violence. But I have changed. What she has taken, It will not break me.
That's because you're
Stone
based.
is no warrior of glass, but the war within her. Even stone crumbles under enough strife. Stay with her, Guardian, as I should have with Osiris. We must offer her what support we are able, even if she does not want it.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. It's something that it, to Bungie's credit, kind of hits on the subtleties of the narrative there. We were all super mad at Savathun for possessing Osiris and, getting all that intel on us, but really, Savathun didn't kill Sagira. Savathun didn't mortally cripple Osiris. As a matter of fact, she kept him alive long enough to get him back to us, to nurse him back to health. Xivu Arath did that. Her little celebrant knight dude that we were hunting down during that season, where we got Crow back. He's the one who basically took down Sagira, who Sagira had to blow herself up to stop. Wasn't Savathun. Savathun just happened to be there and was like, oh, well, I can make use of this. Moms have that sixth sense of your free time. They do. They can absolutely sense it, Gray Fox. Yo, Mark, what's up, man? Says moms have bad timing. Still love them, though. I absolutely love my mom. And yes, I did ask absolutely what she asked. The errands she had me run, I absolutely did them. Because when your mama calls, you answer, boys. You answer. All right, what do we got this week? There's been some truth this season laid out, or laid bare by Drifter, Sloan, Saint, and Zavala. Absolutely, man. Marcus says, I just don't plan anything, so that's why they're never disappointed. Exactly, you can't plan anything. You gotta just roll with it, because you know somebody's gonna come calling, asking for something. You just have to plan for that. Alright, so we're going to jump on into the story mission this week. If you've been on Destiny, Twitter, or social media at all, you'll likely know that there's been quite a lot of conversation about the state of the game, the state of Bungie, the state of PvP, and of course the state of the seasonal story, in which Bungie seems to have taken liberties with other people's liberties. Done a little bit of homework copying when it comes to some narrative elements. Now, to be fair, there is a cutscene at the end of this week's story mission that is very, very big. I won't spoil it for you until we get to that point. If you haven't seen it already, I was actually aware of this cutscene. I saw it a few weeks ago, right at the beginning of the season, when a lot of the leaks came out, and basically had to keep my thoughts to myself on it. But the gist of it is, it's explaining some of the lore, some of the back pieces going on with a few of the newer characters here in Destiny, and of course, the nature of the darkness itself. The funny thing is, well, at least I think it's funny, it's hilarious to me, is that it's a rather similar backstory to another major game that I'll explain as we get to it. Wait, Hawthorne's in the town. Oh, yeah, why is Hawthorne? They're sending us to Hawthorne. That's weird. Talk to Bird Girl. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait. The other thing going on, of course, is the growing discontent with the state of the story in Destiny 2, specifically the seasonal pattern. I think people are pretty burnt out on this season already. Ironically, it's what I named my stream last week when I talked about mid-season burnout happening like a month and a half early. That seems to be what's really going on with people right now. A lot of people are kind of taking the back seat away from Destiny, and that's okay. That's definitely okay. There are other games out there that are doing some things better, like Diablo 4 is out. Tears of the Kingdom is out. There's other better things to play, and I think that's really kind of weighing onto people right now. You're seeing a lot of Destiny 2 content creators in particular going the variety route, and God bless them for it. I hope they can find success with that, because you gotta get out of being pigeonholed to one game. And that's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. All right, what do you want, girl? Fishing Rally, Throne World. Oh, this is to start that exotic quest. There is an exotic quest that is available this week if you haven't done it yet. Starts with catching an exotic fish out on the Throne World, and then that leads into getting some other stuff, and you got to take that into the dungeon and drop it at some Thrall statues. It is unfortunately time gated, so you can only get one part of it done this week. Also, get your centrifuge catalyst, man. These activity completions take forever. I think Mayhem is live this week, so I'll be jumping onto that to see if I can get some of that done. Guardian? Yeah, Mayhem's probably going to be the best way to do that. I mean, it's been 10 years between D1 and D2. Yeah, it absolutely has. This game has been out, well, this franchise, rather, has been out for 10 years now. You shouldn't feel like, you have an obligation to play it. But, honestly, I mean, I get it. As a content creator, I definitely get it. Because, especially on places like YouTube, you are kind of pigeonholed by the algorithm. If you're not playing the game that your channel's known for, you get suppressed. And I'm assuming some of that even happens over on Twitch. Thank goodness we stream over on Rumble, where that's not a problem. You see, on YouTube, let's say you grew up with Destiny, you got most of your viewers with Destiny, the algorithm will basically say, okay, you are a Destiny channel. Wow, he's selling an Ostringer this week. That's interesting. Very interesting. This is the first time I've been on Destiny all week, by the way. Like, I've had no reason to play it, and it's been great. So I'm right there with my my content creator homies. But anyway, if you started your channel, making Destiny content, and you got fairly big making Destiny content, the YouTube algorithm will legitimately put you in a box and say, hey, you're a Destiny player. You should be playing Destiny. You should be making Destiny content. And then if you don't, it'll basically start suppressing your channel. It won't push out notifications to your viewers, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't happen over on Rumble, by the way. Massive shout out to Rumble. Better platform in every way, shape, and form. Alright, defeat Hathrick the Glassweird in the Extraction Lost Sector at 7th and Throne World. Gross. So I can get why a lot of my buddies wouldn't want to, they don't all jump onto other content, but the state of the game right now has afforded them an opportunity to do so. A lot of Destiny players are playing Diablo, so they can jump over and start making builds and guides for Diablo. A lot of them are looking forward to Starfield. A lot of them are looking forward to Zelda and stuff like that. Right now, there's a lot of other games to play, and player apathy for Destiny, I won't say it's reaching an all-time high because it's a little hyperbolic, but it's getting up there. So, jump on out while jump on out while the jumping's good. Yo, John, what's up, brother? Grab that harsh language? No, make me. I didn't even look and see what was on it. I've already got a Gotti of it. We'll peep it when we get back to the tower. But yeah, so right now that sentiment has really been growing. Wait, am I going the wrong way? Oh yeah, I'm heading to the fishing thing. Oops. That'll be later. But that sentiment has been growing. There's been a lot of, I guess you could say, righteous fury at the fact that Bungie is, it seems like we figured out why Crucible hasn't been getting any sort of attention over the last, this public event. Why Crucible hasn't been getting any attention over the last couple of years. Seems like the Crucible team has been too busy over making marathons, so that's been a point of contention. There's just a lot of stuff building up right now, and then when you mix that in with the notion of the story mission that's out this week, Bungie copying some homework. People are giving Bungie a rough time. And I, for one, look very much forward to when they put out what they always put out in a couple weeks. We're listening, and we'll be making some changes based off of your suggestions. You guys remember those twabs? Although it's TWID now. It's This Week in Destiny now, not This Week at Bungie. But I'm looking forward to them saying, yeah, we're listening to you, and we'll be making some changes because, you know, our player numbers are down, and we promise we'll do what needs to be done to get them back up. And then, like, the things that they'll do will be, we're going to bring back 2 classic Crucible maps. Well, I mean, are you going to change Crucible balance? No. We're just going to bring back 2 classic maps and maybe nerf shotguns again. Come on, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Loving Rumble, by the way, definitely a better platform, and it's getting better by the day. I'm really happy I, jumped over onto Rumble early. I've been on it for a couple years now. And it's definitely getting better by the day. The features they're adding in are great. It as a live streaming platform is getting better. It's good stuff, and I would definitely recommend it to everybody. Hold that. Never mind, that was Tuesday's roll. It rotated. No worries, man. I wasn't on this game on Tuesday. It had envious and destabilizing. Oh, that is pretty good for a wave frame. Yeah, that's damn good. Dang, I should have gone on and grabbed that. Easy money. I remember when those 2 bosses took forever to kill. Not anymore. Just get absolutely destroyed. Witness shitted pant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, Jonathan, would you like to talk about it when I get to that point?
Good work, Guardian.
I know you're not playing right now, so I'm not going to make you get on. Though you are free to if you would like to. I only just started the seasonal stuff, so. Do you like server stability? Oh yeah, we're going to get all the server stability when Bungie puts out those conciliatory TWIDs. You know, I don't even care that being amped only gives you a very minor speed boost. It's mostly visual. You're not actually running much faster than a normal player, but it still feels good. Excuse me. I was on for all of minutes, or 5 minutes to grab that and hop off. Yeah, I feel that. I'll never jump on the bandwagon of, no, Destiny's a bad game, shit game, bro. No, this is a great game. This is a phenomenal game. But I do think we're reaching that mid-season doldrums point a little early, which is why, I named my stream that last week. We didn't actually talk about it during the stream because you guys are such great conversationalists. You got me talking about everything else in the world, and so I completely forgot to talk about the one topic I wanted to bring up. But yeah. This season is it's a little light. It's fun. I like the deep dive activities. I like the salvage and all that, but that's all there is to it. There's nothing more to it. And there might be, there's a reasonable amount of burnout now. With the seasonal structure, the lack of major changes, the reused assets. All of it's fine. The game's still fine and fun to play. But in the face of other games right now, there are some better things for you to spend your time on. Shoot, I was playing Division earlier this week. Year 5 content just started, so there's a bunch of new stuff to do in that. They added in an entire new, underground mode where you're basically playing through... You remember the VR missions from Metal Gear Solid? You're basically playing through that. Like a roguelite version of that. There's other stuff to play, and that's alright. I'll never be one of those hyperbolic people who's like, I'm 3 months sober from Destiny, guys. No. You don't get to brag until you're 3 years sober like Jonathan. But I'll never be one of those guys. And by the way, that's not a shot at anybody in particular. I'll just never be one of those guys. Why? Because it's a video game. It's not a marriage. It's not a commitment like that. When it's boring, I won't play it. And when it's got stuff to play, I will. Get him, Ark buddy. I do love this build. It's just jolt, explode, and blind everything. With a ridiculous amount of damage resistance. Thanks to like the triple stacking damage resist mods we have for Ark builds right now. In a, you know, Rift, you're basically just about as tanky as you are in a well. Hey, look at that. That man couldn't even get past my overshield. Boomer Knight looking a little small. What's Gambit? Ironically, Gambit is in a better state than Crucible right now. Like, unquestionably. And that's saying something, because Gambit is still dealing with weird glitches, connection issues. Whew. I do really like this auto rifle. The amped up ability that it gets, causing explosions and blinding things around, when you mix that with a few of the arc aspects, you can make it so that your jolted kills do like an AoE blind effect, so every enemy that you kill basically becomes a blinding grenade. Hey. I think mine's bigger than yours. Can't wait to get the catalyst for it. Yo, Shiloh, good morning to you, baby girl. How you doing? I hope you guys are doing well today. Alright, what we got next? Return to Sloan. Oh, is that it? Are we not doing a deep dive? If so, that's really quick. Yeah, can't be hating on games when the world has the world has a lot more going on, and that energy can be pointed to something more positive. Absolutely. What build are you rocking? I'm rocking an altered version of the Getaway Artist build. Haven't finalized it yet, but the general gist is this. You're always going to be empowered, always going to be jolting, or always amplified, not empowered, always going to be jolting targets. You'll always have heightened damage resistance, and thanks to Getaway Artist, you're going to have an amped up Arc Soul, you know, Arc Buddy, that's going to be serving not only as, you know, a little aggressive turret, because with Getaway Artist, the Arc Buddy gets super aggressive. You saw you saw how many enemies it took out there. But when you're amped, the Arc Buddy is also going to jolt and explode targets, causing its own AoE damage. Just a quick look. Arc Soul, of course, electrostatic mines that you can create ionic traces. Basically, every kill you get with this build is going to create an ionic trace, which is going to give you all of your abilities back. It's going to be, it's so you don't really have to worry about getting 100 discipline, 100 strength, or any of that kind of stuff. Of course, you should get those as high as possible, but with this build, you want to focus on resilience and probably recovery, because you also want to have your well, or your rift rather, as often as possible. But it doesn't matter. As long as you've got 100 resilience, this build will work and you'll have infinite abilities. Spark of Ions, where defeating a jolted target will create an ionic trace. Again, that's going to tie in with electrostatic mind. You're going to be jolting everything with this build, so you're going to create more ionic traces. Spark of Shock, where your arc grenades will jolt targets. Spark of Beacons, well, while you're amplified, your arc special weapon Final Blows will create a blinding effect. This mixes in with Centrifuge. So basically, that AoE explosion that you get when you build up the Centrifuge ability is also going to cause blinding to everything around it. It's great for crowd control. Then Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Over on the artifact side of things, the important perks here are, of course, going to be Thunderous Retort, where it grants you bonus arc super damage if you cast it while you're critically wounded. Amped Up, you can stay amped a little bit longer. Electric Armor. This one's huge. You'll gain damage resistance while you're amplified. With this build, you're getting amped every time you get like an arc kill or get an ionic trace. So you're basically, you just saw that lost sector. I was amped basically 100% of the time. Lightning strikes twice. After throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows will extend the duration of this benefit. This is one of the reasons why you'll have infinite grenades even if you don't have really high discipline. And then Shock and Awe. Arc Final Blows while you're amplified summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Are you seeing what I'm talking about here with the stacking arc explosions? So, you're going to be getting massive arc explosions and AoE damage when you build up Centrifuge. Of course, with this, sprinting, sliding, and firing this weapon builds a temporary electrostatic charge, increasing range and reload speed. Final Blows with high charge will cause explosions, and maximum charge explosions can blind targets. That mixes in with Shock and Awe, because you're going to be creating ionic traces from that. You're going to be getting amplified from it. Now, those explosions that you're creating with Centrifuge are going to jolt targets. You're also going to be getting the blind effect from your class mods, and it's just there's so many different ways this is all kind of working together. Mod wise, you can take a quick look there. Just basic stuff. Void Siphon because I'm using a Void Heavy. Dynamo, Heavy Ammo Finder. On the gloves, we've got Bolstering Detonation and Focusing Strike with Impact Induction. I'm running triple Void Reserves. Double Orbs of Restoration, because you're going to be generating a lot of Orbs of Power with this build, as you're getting melee and grenade kills. And so, I'm just running double Orbs of Power to get my energy back up a little bit. And then, double Utility Kickstart, because one of the big bits of survivability when it comes to this build is basically having your well or your rift up all the time. When you mix that in with the damage reduction that you've got from the artifact mod, you're basically just unkillable. With a 100% uptime on rift, because you'll almost always have your rift energy back by the time your rift goes away. It's good stuff. Alright, big girl, what we got going on? I hope you guys are ready for cutscene.
Our minds are one, linked by the darkness, but only for a moment. I must borrow Sloane's voice to speak my words. Please, heed them well. Before you can confront the witness, you must understand it. The witness's first victims were once like you, struggling for survival, bolstered by hope, until their hopes became reality. They called it the Gardener, their deity of life. It ushered them into a golden age. For eons, they prospered. But their newfound god never spoke to them. It lavished them with gifts, but not with guidance. And though they lived in paradise, they came to crave a greater purpose. They desired meaning, structure, a winnower, to shape the garden. Their scholars discovered that the Gardener shared a connection with another entity among the stars. They called it the Veil, and when they found it, they arrived to claim it. They already knew much about the light, how it could bend the laws of the universe and create life. But they came to realize that it could bring ruin just as easily. The cosmic events it set in motion could wipe out entire civilizations in a heartbeat, without reason. And so they saw the light, not as a source of prosperity, but of unfettered chaos. By studying the veil, they came to know the darkness. A power that was shaped by thought and consciousness. And in the darkness, they found the means to carve away the chaos of existence, to calcify it into a final shape. Eternal and perfected. They brought the veil back to the Gardener in an attempt to strengthen their connection. There, they could reshape reality itself. The Gardener would not allow it. And so it fled their world. But they would not be deterred. Having witnessed the truth in the darkness, they used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the Witness's pursuit. Its campaign to impose meaning on a meaningless universe. One that is nearly at its end.
There we go. That is the origins of the Witness. And those who play a little game called Final Fantasy XIV might have noticed a few similarities there with that backstory. Ancient civilization gains power to control reality and create things out of nowhere. Accidentally or on purpose starts creating things that destabilize the universe, screw everything up, and then engage in a mass jumping off of the cliff in order to sacrifice themselves in order to create a new god to bring order back to the universe. It's a little similar to the story of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Let's see what they got to say.
Well, now we've heard what Asa had to tell us. We know our enemy better than ever. To think that it all started with the need for purpose. How that need became an obsession. What bothers me most is how much I understand it. This mission, it's my purpose, my reason for being, my guiding light. Without it, I'm lost. I don't know who I am or what I'm supposed to do. And that lack of direction, it's harder to face than 1,000 battles. I felt the same about my previous mission when I held the line on Titan. And if I'm being honest, it feels like I failed. I survived, but for what reason? What was it all meant to achieve?
Oh, that's up to you to decide.
I've found is to learn what Asa knows. If I can do that, it will all have been worth it. Our link ended before Asa could explain how to get through the portal. The bond took its toll. But we'll both be ready again soon. When that time has come and gone, then I can feel like I accomplished the mission.
Fair enough. But yeah, striking similarities between the ancient race in Destiny and the race of ancients in Final Fantasy XIV known as the Amarosians. If you take a look at the thumbnail for the stream, that picture there looks a little similar to the picture of the ancient race that became the Witness, right? The picture in the thumbnail is a picture of the Amarosians from Final Fantasy XIV, the ancient race who did exactly what the Witnesses race did, except, a couple years ago. Seems like somebody over there at Bungie might be a fan of some Square Enix. Yo, Trini, good to see you. How you doing this afternoon, girl? I hope you're doing well. You lurking at work? Oh, I like it, girl. Hopefully I can keep you entertained for at least a little bit longer. I say it every stream, but I love Gambit, and we love you, Shiloh. I gotta actually hop on Gambit. So I was saying earlier, it's in a better place than Crucible is right now. All right, let's see what they got to say this time.
You never did tell me why you trust the Nine so much.
Oh, I don't. Not even a little. I trust Orin.
Orin.
Long story. The short of it is, I may have had a feeling or two for somebody a long time ago. Somebody that lost themselves along the way.
Now she's Blue Bay.
But there's a little piece of her still out there. A sliver. Who still has a feeling or two for the somebody I could be. So I trust her. Because she ain't never steered me wrong. No matter how rotten I was. Because at the end of the day, maybe we gotta put our faith in something other than ourselves. Even if we're too stubborn to admit it.
I didn't expect you to put a lot of stock in
This man juggling two
And I
hoes.
didn't expect you to lose yours and keep moving. Guess we're all full of surprises, ain't we?
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're being genuine.
Oh, I'm always genuine. People just ain't always paying attention. For real, though, Moondust might have given me a push. Thought it'd help.
Sounds like familiar advice. Is it though? Helping.
No joke? I think so.
Then we have that in common too.
I do like all the Drifter that we're getting this season. The audio logs with him have easily been the highlight of this current season. Oh yeah, Eris definitely giving Drifter that freaky Moondust sex, 100%. Facts. I hated him at first because he kept calling me snitch, but he was right. Yeah, he gave up on the whole snitch thing. Now he's back to calling you hero. I like Drifter. He's probably my favorite character now. Just saw a post that Bungie has apologized for the art theft. Yeah, the other thing was in that Witness cutscene, they use basically a composition. I mean, it's all owned by Bungie, but they use a composition that's strikingly similar to something that a fan made a year or so ago and posted on the Bungie forums, and it seems pretty one-to-one. Which is cool, It's cool that they put the thing in the game, but, maybe at least announce it in a TWAB or something. Like, hey, we saw this bit of art. We wanted to know that it's going to be used in the game at some point. Maybe at least announce that if you're going to take it. I mean, legally they have the right to take it because it's using assets and characters that Bungie has created. And also, a little bit of little known fine print. If you take a look at the terms of service on Bungie.net, any art or things you post on there, Bungie can claim as their own. So, like, legally, it's theirs. There's nothing that you can do about that. And again, not the biggest thing in the world.
On deck. Dive time.
Yo, Nim, what's up, brother? So apparently that cutscene was outsourced and they weren't aware. I mean, good.
Hey,
But the problem is, they still did quality control, right? I mean, lol, Bungie, quality control?
Up an orifice, and then you can answer both those questions yourself.
Like, somebody should have caught that.
Sister.
ultimately, it's, you know, it's still their responsibility, but... Either way, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Wait, did I load into the solo one again? I did. Let's not do that. Drifter MVP this season, 100%. No, I definitely loaded into the match-made version. That's weird. Maybe there's just legitimately nobody playing Deep Dive. Which would be absolutely hilarious. Oh, yep, I see the tweet here. We've discovered that an external vendor that helped create this cutscene mistakenly used this art as a reference, assuming it was official Bungie art. We have reached out to the artist to apologize for the mix-up and to credit and compensate them for their awesome work. Okay, well, good on them. That's a dub. Good on them. They definitely didn't have to compensate them, but it's cool that they did. That's good on Bungie. Oh, you know what? I don't care about Deep Dive. What am I doing? I've got about another half hour left. I'm going fishing. It's exotic quest time, baby. Bungie and quality control, you got jokes today? Oh, I got jokes every day. Yeah, whole lot of quality control going on at Bungie. There's a whole lot of Q&A. The state of Crucible will tell you that. That'll reveal that lie. And we all learned a lesson about posting your work to the internet. Watermark that ish. Yeah, and again, like I said, you post it on Bungie.net on the or Bungie forums. You forfeit ownership of it, especially if you're using Bungie assets to, you know, create your thing. So it's good on Bungie to be nice. Go back. Hopefully they figure out a way to retroactively credit that artist. And it's cool that they went and decided to compensate them. Good on them for that. How many lures do I have? 500. Okay. Let's see how long it takes to catch an exotic fish. It's like a 1%. It's like a 1% drop rate. So it's probably not going to be great. But that's okay. We can spend that time talking, right? That's why you're all here. Wait a second. Find me. I've actually never done the fishing pond here on the Throne World. I don't even know where it is. Oh, here we go. You've gotten 2 so far. Oh, here's hoping my luck is somewhere near yours. Also, is it weird that there's nobody else out here fishing? Are the servers just so messed up right now that, like, can't even get matchmaking in the public zones? Oh. I've caught 3 this whole season. I've only gone fishing once, so. Oh, I keep pressing A and not X. Oops. Read the prompts. I keep trying to jump rather than catch. Much better. Not rush hour on the internet? Yeah, but it's summer. You'd figure that there would, there'd be more people out. But then again, you know, the entire theme of this stream is that A lot of people are kind of checked out of Destiny right now. And it's understandable. There's a bunch of other things to play. A bunch of better things to play, in my opinion. Again, not that Destiny is a bad game, or I wouldn't even argue Destiny's in a bad spot right now. There's plenty of things to do in this game. It's a lot of fun. But, you know, the seasonal grind is getting a little old. We haven't really had too many new things to do. People are taking a break. All the kids are hanging out on Fortnite. Alright, 1 legendary, 4 rares. Summer is when to hunker down in the AC. Oh yeah, I mean, and it's been hot. I know it gets hot over there in Texas too, but it's been real hot down here in Florida. Now is not the time to not have an AC. But I know at least 3 people whose ACs have gone out in like the last week. Because this is when it always happens. It always happens in summer. It's when you always run out of Freon or whatever. Or when your compressor decides to die. Or when your pump goes out. Oh, God. It's always poorly timed. Make it 4. Oh, not you too, Nim. No, brother, no. Don't tell me that AC went kaput. Mine's been on the fritz since this heat wave started. Dang, man. Shoot. If I had known. You know, I talked about it last week. I had those window units that I bought a couple years ago that I never used. I just got rid of those last week. I would have legitimately boxed it up and shipped it to you. So you could at least shove it in like your bedroom window. Keep yourself cool at night. No person should have to sleep in heat. Oh, God, I hate that feeling. I'm sorry to hear it, man. Any ETA on when you might be able to get it fixed? And have you had anybody out to look at it? Is it just a Freon thing? You said it cools the living room kind of, but your room gets nothing? If it's cooling just a little bit, I would wonder about that. Usually it's the, you know, it's the coolant compressor outside that goes bad. Either springs a leak or just stops pumping, ices over. But if everything else is still running, it could just be a blown capacitor or just a blown battery. I've seen that happen before, and that's relatively easy to replace. I've had to do that before. Oh, that is the absolute worst. I remember I had to replace the central cooling, you know, throughout the entire house. So, you know, the air handler inside, the compressor outside. I had to get the whole thing done a couple years ago. It ran me about $4,000. I was unhappy. Your boy was not happy. But if yours is partially cooling, like if it's actually blowing cold air in one room, then that tells me that it might not be an issue of low coolant. It might not be, hey, I finally got somebody. And it's Sector from Mortal Kombat. It could be the coils are a little clogged up, so they just might need to be cleaned or something. I guess I should wait until you tell me whether or not you've had somebody come out to look at it. Yep, yeah, David Fear says if it's partially cooling, it likely just needs maintenance. That's what I was thinking. Literally what I just, was just talking about. But you gotta hear if it's actually cooling, because if you might say it's cooling one room because the fan is running. The coolant could be screwed up, the compressor outside could be kind of messed up, the pump could be messed up, and the fan will still run and maybe blow some outside cooler air into a room. But, that's rough. But yeah, so now, I'm curious now. If you go and stand, I know you're probably like at work, but if you like turn it on, you say it's partially cooling one room. If you go and stand under that vent, is it actually blowing like cold air or just room temperature air? Because if it's blowing cold air, then it's like David Fear said over on Rumble. You might just need to clean the coils on the inside of the air handler. Those might be iced up and gunked up. Shoot, you know what it could also be? It could also be your condensate line that just needs to be drained. For those who don't know, on your air conditioner, when you go inside to, if you've got a central cooling unit, and if you go inside to your air handler, you'll see a PVC pipe over there. That PVC pipe will have an access line on it. That PVC pipe is what your air handler uses to drain water. Water that builds up on water and kind of gunk that builds up on the coils. And every now and again, it needs to be cleaned and drained out because all that water in a dark, dank space basically creates algae. And that algae will gum up your coolant system because it won't be able to actually drain the water correctly, and that will absolutely affect your system's ability to cool. Look, I'm not even standing in a well, and look how little damage I'm taking from these guys. It's great. Yeah, that'd be, and that's something you could do without, you can clean the condensate line without having to, having a maintenance guy come out. Like, all you need for that is just some bleach or vinegar. You just take the top off, pour it right down the line. Hopefully it's just that. Then after that, all the usual maintenance things. Check your air filter. Make sure, if you haven't changed your filter in 3 years, do that. Because that's something else that could also cause your air conditioner to only partially cool. Did I really activate this heroic by myself? This is usually one of the harder ones to activate. Look at that. I'm a professional. This man caught that work as he interrupted my fishing. The Black Link, entertaining and educating since, when did I start this channel? 2007. Happy to be of help. Yeah, that's actually, because if it's something like that, that could potentially save you thousands, Nim. If hopefully it's something as simple as either just needing a new filter or just needing to have the condensate line drained or the coils cleaned. All of that you could do yourself for like less than $5. Man, Shiloh, you can't say stuff like that. You're sitting over there in Texas, hot and wet. You got me looking at plane tickets. Like, I'm on my way. Home warranties are so clutch. They absolutely are when they cover your air conditioner. It's crazy that not all of them do. Loop. Gotcha. Where's the other one? Come here. I'll murk y'all until I can fish again. I just gotta wait a bit to have it checked out. Sadly, the shmoney situation is tight. Believe me, I know. Well, I understand, brother. Like I said, when mine went out, it was a $4,000 price tag to basically have it replaced. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Warranty wouldn't cover it, so it basically had to come out of pocket. That hurt. That hurt me real bad. Oh god, I hope it's something as simple as the coil or the condensate line. Pray it's something that easy. Listen, I don't care about these Lucent burgers. Can you please just give me back my fishing hole? There, they're all gone now. Can I have my fishing hole back? Oh, come on. I'm really gonna have to go back up to orbit, aren't I? Well, see if it gets us a new instance. Just by fast traveling. We definitely swap out the filters pretty often. So I can cross that out. Okay, good. By the way, good on you for that. A lot of people don't. For you aspiring homeowners out there, there's a couple things that a lot of new homeowners never do that you really need to. One, change out your air filter. You're really supposed to do it around every 3 months or so, but at least try to do it twice a year. 3 times a year, if you can remember. But at least twice a year. Those things get really dirty. More if you have pets, by the way. If you got pets, that are dumping hair all over the place, you need to clean your air filter out. Another thing a lot of people don't do that you definitely need to, for you aspiring homeowners out there, for the love of everything holy, for the love of big, fat, beautiful titties, clear out your dryer vent line. There's a little vent hose that's connected to the back of your dryer. All that lint that's getting sucked through your lint trap is getting shot out of that drain hose. It gets stuck, it builds up, and once a little bit of it is built up, a lot of bit of it builds up and becomes a gigantic fire hazard. The number of people I know who don't even know, they don't even know that vent is back there. And they have just like 5 years of lint and dust and particles built up in this line that's inside of their home. It's a huge fire hazard when it gets warm. Clean it out. It's very simple to do. You just unplug your dryer, you pull it out, you unhook the line, you literally just stick a vacuum hose in there. Suck it out. You usually be able to find the vent for it outside of your home. You can go do the same thing on that side. Just take the top off of it, put a vacuum in, suck it all out. It's usually a bunch of lint in there. I know people who never cleared it out and had stuff living in there. I know one dude, his vent line, his house was a little weird. It drained out on his roof, which is odd. Most houses will just do it out on the side of the house so you can just walk to it. And a bird built a nest in there. So here's how you can tell whether or not your dryer vent drain or your dryer vent needs to be cleaned. Does your dryer take more than one rotation to dry your clothes? Does it take more than one cycle to dry off your clothes? If it does, you need to clean your vent. No, it's not that your dryer's getting weak. It's not that the heater on it's not working. It's not that the tumbler's not working right. If your dryer takes more than one rotation to dry your clothes out, it's simply because you need to clean your vent line. Your vent line is too clogged up with dust and lint and stuff. You just need to clean that out. Hell, if you look around, you probably have a family-owned business in your town that does that service for like $50 a pop. Do it. That's when you move it. If you move into a house and that house already has a washer and dryer in it, and you're not going to be replacing it with your own, well, first replace it with your own. You're moving into a new house, for God's sake. Buy a new washer and dryer. But if you don't, that's the first thing you should do. Clean your dryer vent. Clean that hose out. And hell, along those lines, Do the same thing for your refrigerator. Your refrigerator has coils in the freezer that are basically a part of the filter for cooling and creating the ice that you use to cool your drinks. It's very easy to clean. Just one day, before you go grocery shopping, empty out your freezer, unplug it, unhook it from the water, get some alcohol or something on a rag, and just wipe the coils down. The alcohol will melt the ice on there and it'll sterilize it. Suddenly you'll notice that your ice tastes a whole lot better. This has been TBL Vila's home again. Yo, Bethaniel, good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. We're just sitting here spending the rest of our time fishing. We got a new exotic quest out in the game right now. For those who don't know, it is tied to fishing. You head over to Savathun's Throne World, do a little bit of fishing. When you get an exotic fish, that's when the quest will generally start. You'll have to basically you'll take it to the tower, you break it down into some other part, you take that part into the current dungeon over on Titan, and you dunk it at a thrall statue. Now, there's really nothing more to say to it than that, because it is a time-gated quest. You'll likely have to do exotic fishing for multiple weeks. Yeah, see, Marcus says 4 pets, so it happens often. Yeah, if you've got pets, change your AC vent more often. Dude, that's just a fire hazard. Facts. Yeah, see, Shiloh knows. Man, see, this is why somebody... I don't live in Texas, so I can't do it. But this is why somebody needs to wife up Shiloh. She knows. That mama knows. She knows how to handle a household. Yeah, the number of people I know who had no idea about the whole dryer vent thing. It's like, no, my dryer just stopped working one day. Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, it runs, it spins, it gets hot and all that, but I have to dry I have to run my clothes 2 or 3 times before they dry. It's like, oh, well, that's certainly odd. When was the last time you changed your vent? My what? The vent. The hose in the back of it. When was the last time you cleaned that out? There's a hose in the back? It's like, oh my goodness. It's a good thing your house hasn't caught on fire. We bought a big-ass bundle of filters for it. Good. You got to take care of your air conditioner. Air conditioners require just a minimal amount of maintenance, and they will work for like 17 years. But you got to make sure you change the... the air filter. And you got to make sure you drain the condensate line. As a matter of fact, you know what? I haven't done mine this month. I'm going to go get some bleach and pour it down that thing. Probably later today. Is your family an HVAC or something? No, I've just owned a home. I mean, man, that's... If you're a kid who doesn't want to go to college and you want to make some money, I've talked about this before, it's perfectly fine to not go to college. There are plenty of ways to make money out there. Go into a trade or something. Go into HVAC. It's so easy to work with, so easy to install, and you will never find an HVAC specialist who is not busy, who doesn't have money and who doesn't have work. Literally everybody needs air conditioners. But no, Shiloh, I mean, I've owned my own home for a while, and even when I lived with my parents, that was a lesson that my parents imparted upon me. Like, my dad is a handyman. He is absolutely a handyman. Like, if anything on a house breaks, he knows how to fix it. Like, my dad's my absolute hero. The dude is just phenomenal at everything. And he taught me how to fix a lot of stuff. Like, I know how to fix water heaters. I know how to fix and clean heating elements on water heaters, on stoves, on outside grills. My dad imparted a lot of knowledge on me when it comes to a lot of that stuff. But also, it was out of necessity. When the air conditioner broke at the house, if Dad was at work and I was at home, well, guess what? I had to fix it for Mom. It's good shit. And you learn a lot of it living on your own. These are things you gotta learn when you get your own place. Or get yourself a wife like Shiloh who knows it all already and will carry you. Do it. Big facts. When I was running my buddy's smoothie bar, we would deep clean his big freezer every 3 to 4 months. Yeah, that's another thing. It's another thing people don't do. They just think, oh, well, it's the freezer. You're keeping it closed. You know, why would you need to clean it? I get that, but you're also putting a bunch of other things in the freezer, and usually you're putting like food, like meat and stuff, up next to and onto your coils. You're gonna dirty up your coils. There's gonna be bacteria that gets onto those that gets onto your coils and then freezes there. If your ice tastes a little funny, well, 1, get a water filter on your freezer, and 2, clean your coils. I learned by necessity when I was fresh from a divorce. My hands-me-down dryer wouldn't dry clothes, so I read a lot and asked questions about it. Exactly, see? You better listen to this woman. If your dryer's if it's not working, it's probably your vent. And it'll save you so much money, because there's people who just think, oh my goodness, my dryer's broken. I got to go spend $800 on a new dryer. No, you don't. Just go check the vent in the back, clean that out, because if it's still turning on and if it's still tumbling, it's still drying. It's just being choked. The heat is being choked out by all the lint that's in your vents. Same thing with your washer. If your washer's rattling, I mean that's something else I've repaired. A washer, the bed in a washer, when the bearings go bad, you don't need to buy a whole new washer. You can just buy new bearings, flip your washer over, take the tumbler out, and just replace the bearings on it. It's actually rather simple to do. I've done that too. Yo, Shiloh, I agree. Hearing people talk about their dads. Dads don't get enough credit in our society. I think Han Solo's a little mad about his fishing prospects over there. It's alright, brother. We're all looking for exotic fish. But dads don't get enough credit in our society. They're usually made the butt of jokes. And so, appreciate your father if you had a good one. Especially if you had a good one. Appreciate that. Because it means something. My dad is my absolute hero. Dude is an inspiration to me. I've told the story about it before without getting into too many personal details, but he's somebody who in high school he was the football star, went to college to play football, wound up or was going to go to college to play football. Basically, was approached by a bunch of recruiters because they wanted him to be on the team. Broke his ankle his senior year, a few months before graduation. All of those football scholarships disappeared. All of them gone. And so he said, "All right." Did he let that stop him? Nope. Said, "Okay, I'm gonna heal up. I still know what I'm doing." Went into the military. Played football for the military. Joined the Air Force. Did a stint there. Learned some mechanics. Became a bit of an engineer while he was in the Air Force. Got to work on planes and stuff like that. And then when he got out, did a few years of college, dropped out of college, and then went to become a rocket scientist, literally working out with NASA on the Space Coast. That's what my dad does. Don't tell me you need a college degree to be great in this world. My dad is, to me, he is a legend. Hell, I'm going to call him today and tell him I love him, just because. His birthday was a week or so ago. Yeah, his birthday was about a week ago. And we took him out, and it was a good time. I love spending time with my dad. But yeah, he literally, he works as a quality control engineer on rockets. Became a literal rocket scientist without a college degree because, back in the day, they used to do this little magical thing called on-the-job training. And he had experience, he had engineering experience from the military, but, yeah, they hired him out with no college degree, taught him, everything they needed. He's been working out there for 30, 35 years. Yeah, I love my pops. My mom worked out there too, doing basically the same thing. I'll talk more about her on another stream. Hell, she's a black mom, so she probably sensed that I talked about her, and she'll probably be sending me a text saying, "Hey, what are you talking about right now?" By the way, Shiloh, I was talking earlier in the stream about a mother's sixth sense. how you all, you know I love me some mamas. You know I love me some MILFs, right? But how you all have this crazy sixth sense that tells you, one, when your child is doing something they should not be doing. And two, when your child has free time that they could be using to benefit you. So just to reiterate, earlier in the stream, I was talking about how I had some free time off this week, and I didn't have anything really planned. And of course, when you're an adult, you either take your vacation time to do all the stuff around the house that you don't have time to do, or work will manifest itself to take up your vacation time. And so earlier this week, when I had nothing to do, I had no real plans. I was just like, man, this is going to be the day when I sit down, I do not get up to do anything. I'm just going to play video games and veg all day. And it was like my mother could sense it. She could sense that I was not doing anything and that my time could be better spent benefiting her. And so she calls me out of the blue and is like, hey, I need you to do this, and this. I know you're not busy. It's like, wait, what? She didn't even know I was on vacation. She woke up that day sensing it. Like, I sense a great disturbance in the force. My son is free. Mothers know. They somehow just know. Ethnic mothers especially. Like Demon Fox down there says, so do Latina moms. I bet Nim could probably confirm. Yeah, it's great. I love my mom, though. I love her to death. She's great. And yes, I went and did those errands for her. I went and did everything she asked for on my day off. Because that's what we do. Oh, I've had a fun week. I've had a very fun week. Shoot, be a garbage man? They make bread. One of my best buddies from high school is a garbage man. And mad props to him. All throughout high school. I remember it was always funny. Every time, like they would do a career day thing and they would talk about, because, they try to push college on kids. And college is a good thing. Don't let me steer you away from college if you want to go to college. My point is that you don't need to go to college to make a good living. You don't need to go to college to make six figures. Believe me on that. I did go to college. I did graduate with 2 degrees, but you don't need to make good money. And my buddy in high school, every time they would push college and be like, all right, so today we're going to have everybody talk about what their college dreams are, what you want to do when you grow up and all that kind of stuff. And they would expect everybody to give an answer like, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a mechanical engineer. Every time we would get to him, nope, not going to college. The teacher would look shocked. I remember Miss Smith was one of my teachers, and he was in my class in English. And I remember when she was doing this one time, she was talking about her experience in college and how much she loved it and all that kind of stuff. She wanted to encourage everybody to go to college. And so she was asking everybody, well, when you go to college, you know what you want to study for? And if they didn't know, she'd give them some help. Like, here's what I did. You go there, you take some basic classes, take as many different electives and as many different, schools of study as you can. You might find one that you like. That's actually really good advice. But she got to him and he was like, nah, I'm not going to college. And she took it as like he thought he wasn't smart enough to go to college. She was like, oh, no, you're definitely smart enough. You can do it. Like, anybody can do it. And he was like, no, I don't want to go to college. And she was confused. she was flabbergasted. He was like, I'm going to be a garbage man. He was like, you what? It's like, I'm going to be a garbage man. I still remember her face that day. But that was that dude. He always wanted to be a garbage man. And as soon as he got out of high school, he went and became a garbage man, was immediately making more money than all of us. Like, I think his starting wages as a waste expert, as they call them here where I live, was like $60,000. So while we all struggled through college, I put myself through college working at where I work. He was already above the $50,000 threshold. I'm pretty sure he's above $100,000 now. Just driving a garbage truck around picking up garbage. And good for him. That's my dude. He lived his dream. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. David says, I write code for a living. When I get stumped, I don't call my old professors. I just legit Google it. Dude, same here. Absolutely. Like, most of the IT problems, because one of my degrees is in information technology. Most of the problems out there, you can just Google. You can just Google and fix it. Hell, you can chat GPT a lot of your coding problems now. It's great, but you know what? That's what you do. Use it. Make that money. The internet is an abyss of knowledge. You're absolutely right. Oop, wasn't paying attention. Watch out. They might bring the belt or the slippers. La Chancla, the destroyer of bottoms. Yo, Nomad, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Moms can read minds and they can tell when you're lying. Absolutely. That's why don't even bother. Listen, kids. Don't try to lie to your mom. Don't bother with it. 9 times out of 10, it's better to just tell your parents the truth about whatever it is you're doing. Even if you think you're going to get in trouble, it's better to just tell them the truth. It's going to make your life so much easier if you do that. I get it. It's the natural human inclination to lie for self-preservation. But believe me when I say, it's better. Just be truthful. Being truthful saves your skin way more than the lie ever will. Especially to your parents. Absolute legend. Yo, my dad. I consider him an absolute legend. I love the man. You know what he's doing in his free time right now? He went up north to get an old truck that his brother, my uncle, who passed away a while ago, bought. It was my uncle's favorite truck. And he'd had it since like the 80s. And he always wanted to restore it, but just never really got the time. So my dad went up there and got it. It's been sitting in storage for a while. Brought it down here, has been rebuilding it from the ground up. My dad's never built a car before. he's not a mechanical engineer with expertise in automobiles. He just started doing it, and he's almost done. I think the only thing he has left to do is I think put a new transmission on it. Everything else is finished. That's the kind of dude my dad is. He rebuilt his like 1984 Firebird last year. Just out of the blue. He went up to Jersey to my grandmother's house where it's been sitting in a garage for the last 30 years. And he was like, you know what? It was his first car. Like he got it back in the early 80s. And the first car he bought on his own. And he never got rid of it. Grandma and Grandpa never got rid of it. And so it's just been sitting there, atrophying for the last 30 years. Last year when Dad went up there, he took his truck, got a big ol' trailer bed, drove up there, got it on, brought it back here, and rebuilt it over the last year. It's just out of the blue. Doesn't know anything about building cars. Taught himself how. That's just the kind of guy he is. That's what he's doing in his free time right now. He's fixing up my uncle's old truck. It actually looks pretty good. Saw it the other day. Ask Europe right now how important sanitation workers are. Oh yeah, especially out in France. By the way, God bless the people of France. Over in the Spanish sector in Paris, they had that explosion. I don't know. I haven't kept up with it, so I don't know if a culprit has been determined. But God bless those people. Do you know who else needs to learn a bit about the importance of sanitation workers? New York. Remember they were having New York over the past couple of months has been having, well, not even a couple of months, couple of years, has been having a real trash problem because trash workers went on strike and weren't picking up trash. People were dumping stuff all over the streets. Rats have gotten to be the size of dogs just because there's so much trash out there. You better respect your local sanitation worker. He probably makes more than you. My youngest son's going to diesel mechanic school. Ooh, you don't need a college education. I got my degree, and I'm not even using it. Same here. I don't even really use my college degree. I don't regret my time in college. But, I definitely don't use my degree. But yeah, you definitely don't have to go to college to make money. There are a lot of other ways out there. And some of them, you can even start later in life. Like, you can be in your 30s and still go learn a trade in 2 years and immediately start making $80,000. Go become an electrician. Go become a plumber. Everybody needs plumbers. Everybody needs HVAC dudes. Everybody needs a guy to get on their roof and clean out their dryer vent. A lot of good jobs out there. Just don't use ChatGPT for lawyer stuff. 2 NYC lawyers got caught in a case of F around find out recently. Yeah, they used ChatGPT to write their brief, and ChatGPT referenced fake cases. It just made up case law and referenced them. AI is dangerous, baby. Oh, and those 2 lawyers got absolutely blasted by that judge. Oof. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bar hearing for them. Yeah, Demon Fox, I saw that harsh language earlier today. I wish I would have gotten the Envious Assassin destabilizing rounds one that he was selling on Tuesday. I have that roll already, but I'd like another one for another character. You know, so I don't have to swap things around. Yeah, I could ask your dad to help me build my dream car. You know, he probably would know how. The dude's just a real go-getter. He always has been. And I respect the hell out of it. Like, when I go down the list of things my dad has built or fixed, despite having no right to know how to do such things, like he had us build our own 2-deck patio in one house that we lived in. That was crazy. Like, and it came out great. It wasn't rickety, didn't have no holes in it. It was perfectly stable. It supported a bunch of stuff. It was great. We built our own what was going to be a shed house that basically just turned into kind of like an arboretum in our backyard in one house. It's not like we were rich or anything. Man, I definitely didn't grow up rich. He just went and bought some parts. We put it together. We just kept making it bigger. Yo, I watched Legal Eagle's video on that scandal and died laughing. Yeah, man. That was not a good play. This is why you have to proofread your work. And don't trust AI at all. They literally doubled down, not checking out things outside of ChatGPT. They had a hearing on it 2 weeks ago. Ooh! Could you imagine losing your career because you decided to use ChatGPT to write your brief and then wouldn't even proofread it? Yeah, that's unfortunate. I can't wait for ChatGPT doctors. Doc, my stomach hurts. You have a pulmonary embolism. We must operate now. Nah, I think it might just be that gas station sushi I ate. It's cancer. It's inoperable. That's being lazy? Yeah, they were being lazy. I know there's been a lot of talk about using AI when it comes to issues of the law. But that would probably work better for judges than it would for lawyers. For you know, having yourself a defense lawyer. You just have a judge who's basically AI and will read things with basic, complete, unbiased interpretation of the law. But even then, I don't know if I want AI in my legal system determining whether or not your boy goes to jail for that minor traffic violation. You know, because I was fondling titties while driving 95 miles per hour. Don't impede upon my freedoms. Chat GPT doctors, man. It's probably coming. I know there was a story a little while back of somebody who they had some kind of medical condition that they could not figure out, and all the doctors they went to were basically telling them it was one thing and giving them medication for one thing, but the medication wasn't helping. They were still having the same symptoms. And so they went up and they looked up ChatGPT, and they talked to ChatGPT and gave their symptoms to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave them an alternate diagnosis that actually wound up being the correct one. I don't remember what it was they actually had, but ChatGPT took their symptoms, matched it up with, like, I guess a medical database, and basically noted that it was that their symptoms were much more in line with a different diagnosis than what the actual doctor had told them. So they went to another doctor, told them that they thought it might be this thing that ChatGPT said it was. They got on an alternate series of medications, and like their issue immediately cleared up. So it wound up, ChatGPT wound up being right. And that's really, I find that to be really interesting. There could be some, there could be some real benefits there from all of that.
I'm detecting a massive warp in space-time, Guardians. The Scorn are using pyramid tech to drag something big into the
Well,
don't worry.
That's all the fishing I've got time for, gentlemen. It's been an honor fishing up the frenzy with you. A little bit annoying that public events boot you out of that, but I get it. It's, it's to get you to go and actually do the event. Minority Report, anyone? Or just full-on Terminator? Oh, that's coming. There was also, now we're talking about AI. There's also that story about that Air Force simulation, which, by the way, the Air Force says that they deny that this is the case. But there was leaks about an apparent simulation where they were basically having AI control a turret and telling it to basically take down a series of targets that were in front of it. And the programming basically told it, hey, it's your job to build up points. You build up points by taking out these targets. But there are also civilians in the area, so you need to have your targets approved by your commanding officer, which is a human. And so what they noted that the AI would do is, because the more targets, the more people you destroy, the more points you built up, it was just wiping out everything on the battlefield. And so they thought, okay, well, that makes sense. We got to put in some safeguards so it doesn't wipe out our people too. And so they had it so that the AI had to confirm targets with a commanding officer before it took them out. And so what the AI did is it determined after a while that the commanding officer was telling it no on targets too often, so it was costing the system points. So what the AI determined was that the commanding officer was impeding upon its ability to get points. So it killed the commanding officer. So that the commanding officer could no longer say no to whether or not to whether or not it should be bombing this target, and then it could just go back to destroying everything, every target that it could find. So then they say, okay, well we understand that. So here's what we'll do. We'll put in some contingencies so that it's the AI can't attack without the say-so of the commanding officer, and it also won't it won't attack anything that's on its side. So finally, the AI determined, all right, well, I can't kill my commanding officer so that I can just go back to killing everything on the battlefield here so I can build up as many points as possible. Here's what I'll do. It destroyed the communication tower that the commanding officer was using to relay orders to the AI so that it could no longer communicate with the commanding officer and just go back to destroying every target on the battlefield. Now listen, to be fair, this came from a leak. This came from like a whistleblower / leaker or whatever, who was claiming that this is what happened in a military simulation with an AI that they had set up. I think it was the Air Force that was doing this. The Air Force came out and denied the report. So to be fair, they have denied the report. They have denied the accuracy of this report. But that premise is terrifying. Like Terry said, run, brother. you put a simple AI out there, you put it in charge of the guns, you say, hey, This is war. We got to take out targets. Here's your incentive for taking out those targets. You build up points when you take out the right target. The AI just determines, okay, well, it's my prime directive to build up as much points as possible. I'm taking everybody's cheeks. AI in military is a terrifying prospect, and I do not look forward to, I don't look forward to the stuff that's coming in the future. It's gonna be scary. One of the side stories was a tech billionaire buying the hospital and installing an AI-assisted OR. It was all good until the AI made up a cancer node during surgery and killed a guy. See? You can't trust it, man. You'll always need a tempering element. You'll always need that human element there to make sure that the AI isn't going rogue. Ooh. There's some spooky stuff there, man. There's a lot of stuff to worry about with AI. Definitely scary. But alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This one has been a lot of fun. It was great talking to you about the state of the game. It was great talking to you about the state of life. And man, this conversation about fathers and AI and all that kind of stuff. This is why I love live streaming. This is what keeps me coming back. It's always the conversations that we have and the connections that we make. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love your faces so much. If you peeped the show over on Rumble, special shout out to you guys. Rumble is a new platform that is way less censorious, way less oppressive than YouTube. And it is definitely on the up and up, on the rise. A lot of people moving over to it, a lot of good stuff happening there. If you're a new content creator, would definitely recommend you go and check out Rumble. And make sure you check out my channel on Rumble over at rumble.com/theblacklink. There's a link to it in the description of the YouTube stream as well as in the pinned comment, so make sure you go and check that out. But alright, you guys are almost to your weekend. Keep it going. You're almost there. You will be on your Saturday. You'll be on Saturday chilling out, hopefully naked with a big pair of titties in your hand before you know it. Or a big pair of balls if that's what you're into. And I wish the biggest balls for you, baby. We'll be back with more live streams tomorrow. Same time, same place. Going from noon till probably a little after 1. Although maybe if I get up early enough, since, I don't have to work, so I don't have to get up super early. If I get up early enough, I might go live a little bit earlier. Maybe we'll go live at 11, just so we have an extra hour of stream time. I'll give you the heads up. Make sure you're staying tuned over on Twitter and, of course, over on the Discord for the latest in all of our live stream shenanigans. But alright, guys, thanks so much for watching. I love your faces. As always, I am the Black Link. Guardians, stay frosty. We'll see you in the next one.